What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Yeah. Check it out, man. Before we get started, man, the Music Recording Network Live is filling up quick, man. It's filling up. Thank y'all so much. My live channel is a different channel. You can go to the search bar and type in the Music Recording Network. The Music Recording Network Live. Put live at the end. Scroll down a little bit. You see the world with the word live written in it. Yeah. Or you can go now, it says click more. It used to say descriptions, right? But YouTube changed stuff. It's click more. Down there, it's a live channel, something in the live channel down there and everything. A link and everything. Y'all click on the live channel. Come over there. Voice your opinion. Come on the show if you want to, if you feel brave. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all this stuff, man. We just did a reaction to 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦 has said, you know how Cat said, all lies will be exposed in 2024. That's all. I don't have a voice, man. I don't have a 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦 voice. But anyway, check this out, man. Dr. Umar breaks silence on Jay-Z assault allegations and reveals the truth. Y'all gotta listen to this, man, because I was like, dang, he right. And this is he's a doctor. Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy out.
Yeah, it's a lot going on out here, man. How you feel about Jay-Z and what he going through?
You know, when I look at the Jay-Z sex assault allegation, and I read completely the plaintiff's argument put forth by her attorney, Tony Busby. And right from the gate, Art, I had some very serious concerns about her narrative. First of all, and this doesn't speak to the legalities of the case, this doesn't speak to the moralities of the case, this doesn't speak to the political implications of the case. I'm stepping back from those three for a minute here, and I'm asking a very basic, simple, common sense question. And that is, how in the hell does a 13-year-old girl show up at Radio City Music Hall on September the 7th, 2000, for the Video Music Awards, let alone the after party? According to the complaint, the civil suit, she asked a friend who drove her there and dropped her off. Now, Art, I have a 13-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Help me understand how anybody's 13-year-old daughter has a friend who's driving, who can pick them up without their parents' permission, drive them to Radio City Music Hall for the VMAs. That's the first thing. That's the psychologist in me. That's the educator in me. That's the child advocate in me. How does a 13-year-old know anybody that they can call to pick them up and drop them off at the VMAs? So soon when I saw that, I said something interesting is going on here. So as I read the civil suit paperwork further, I see that she didn't have a ticket to get in, nor should she have, because she was only 13 years old.
13?
So she says she stays outside the VMAs. She watches the VMAs on a Jumbotron. She says she goes over to the limousine row where the limousine drivers are parked, and she runs into one of the drivers for Puff's entourage or so forth. And he tells her that if you stay here or meet me back here after the award show, I have to drop off Puff. I got to drop off his entourage, some other celebrities. And when I'm done dropping them off, I'm going to come back and pick you up. According to the civil suit, the limousine driver told the 13-year-old that Puff likes young girls and you fit the description of the type of young girl that he likes. So I'm going to come back and pick you up. So he comes back, he gets her. He takes her to the after party, wherever that was, and it's not clear whether that was at Puff House or some other location. So she gets into the after party. She sees all these celebrities. They doing drugs, they getting high, being sexually promiscuous, whatever the case may be. She says they give her art what she believes at that time to have been a non-disclosure agreement. So another red flag goes up for me because I'm saying to myself, if you're only 13 years old, how can they give you an NDA? In other words, did you misrepresent yourself as being older than what you really are?
Like they all do.
Everybody knows a minor cannot sign consent for themselves. A minor cannot sign consent for themselves. So if someone in that party gave this 13-year-old child a non-disclosure agreement, that means they were under the assumption that you were an adult and you did not make it clear to them that you were only a child. You didn't make it clear to the limo driver that you were only a child. And also, going back to the limo driver, Art, if he tells you that Puffy is into young girls, you look young, you're the type of girl he would want, doesn't that kind of signal to you that if he's coming back to pick you up, he's not taking you to meet Puff for a music deal. He ain't taking you to meet Puff for an audition. He ain't taking you to meet Puff so you can sing cameo on one of his artist's upcoming songs. He's taking you to see Puff for some kind of sexual activity. He sized you up physically and said you the type of girls he likes. And he wants to take you to the after party.
Facts.
What else can he be talking about, Art, other than some sex? So let's go further. She gets to the after party. She says that there's waitresses walking around giving out drinks. She takes one of the drinks and she starts drinking it. She starts to feel woozy, lightheaded. She gets tired. So she decides to stumble to a room, a vacant room at the party. I'm assuming the party is in a home. She stumbles to the vacant room, Art, and she lays down because she's woozy, and that makes sense. You had something to drink. They said Puffy be spiking his drinks, true or false. That's what's out there. So I can understand that. But here's what I don't understand, Puff. I don't think a 13-year-old girl, or any woman for that point, and of course we're talking about a minor, if you're in a party and you see all these celebrities and they doing drugs and getting high and being sexually promiscuous, if you feeling lightheaded and woozy, why not sit down in the main party area? Why not sit down in the living room or the dance area? Because as you know, Art, there's chairs everywhere at a nightclub. There's chairs everywhere at a home. So why didn't you stay within view of the attendees? Why did you wander down some narrow hallway into an empty room and lay in a room by yourself and you 13 years old? She didn't say somebody led her to the room. She didn't say they asked her to go to the room. From what I read on her own, she ends up in this room. She lays down. Shortly thereafter, Sean Combs and Sean Carter enters the room together with a mysterious celebrity B who is alleged to be a female. So then I'm saying to myself, if Sean Combs and Sean Carter are about to sexually assault an underage female, why would you bring a spectator in to witness your crime? Now, it might not be beyond the realm of possibilities because...
Wait a minute. I got to hear that one more time. Think about that. But see, this is the thing. Once you get so big and you are, I run New York, you so big time, Puffy, I get everything I want. You stop thinking like a normal person. You don't even think that this is a crime. This is normal. You done did it over and over and over and over again for 30 years. So this part right here is this for us. Dr. Umar and normal people. Why would you bring somebody in to see you do this crime? Ain't no crime, man. What are you talking about? We do this all the time. Come on, let's do it. Watch this.
Why would you bring a spectator in to witness your crime?
That's how we think.
Now, it might not be beyond the realm of possibilities because in that lifestyle, as you and I know, they do a lot of crazy stuff. So maybe they brought Celebrity B in there, hoping she would join in on the menage a trois, join in on the orgy, maybe engage in some same-sex activity. Who knows what they had on their mind? But on the surface, Art, I'm looking at these two men. And even though we're talking about a crime that happened 22 years ago, 24 years ago, they were still at the top of their game. Jay-Z done already had In My Lifetime Volume 2 that went like 5-6 times platinum. You know what I mean? He was about to drop the blueprint if he hadn't already. You know, Biggie done already joined the ancestors. Mace done already blew up. Puffy is at the top of his game. So they were still the kings of New York 24 years ago. They were still the kings of hip hop 24 years ago. So if you are Jay-Z and Sean Carter, Jay-Z and Sean Combs, Sean Carter and Sean Combs, why would you risk a witness partaking in you sexually assaulting a child? Why bring the witness into the room? I just thought that was a little odd. So anyway, she says Sean Carter assaulted her first, held her down. When he was done, he backed up, and then Sean Combs proceeded to SA her as well, assault her. And then after he SA'd her, he tried to force her to engage in oral sex. She began punching, fighting. She hit him on the neck. Sean Combs backs off. She says she somehow stumbles out of the room, gets her clothes, gets dressed, gets outside. She runs to a gas station. She ends up at the gas station. The gas attendant could clearly see that she's perturbed, she's distraught, she's bewildered, she's traumatized. The gas attendant allows her to use the telephone. She calls her father. Now, this is important, Art, because now you're implicating your father. You're implicating someone else in this now. She says she called her father. The father comes and picks her up. She admits that she tells her father that she lied to get down to Radio City Music Hall to attend the Video Music Awards and or the after party.
Right.
Now, let me stop right there. If the father is still alive, rest in peace if he is not. If the father is still alive, Art, he's going to be subpoenaed to take the stand. He's going to have to testify. What did your daughter say when she called you? Did she call you? What did you say to her? How did you respond? How long did it take you to get to the gas station to pick her up? And the bigger questions are, the bigger question for the father, why didn't you drive your daughter to a hospital or to the police precinct to make a report?
Amen.
Why did you all go home? Did you take her to the police precinct for a police report, criminal complaint?
That's my strike one.
On the two most popular men in the hip hop industry?
Come on now.
Or did you take her to a hospital to make sure she was safe, that she hadn't been harmed or hurt, broken bones, STDs, whatever the case may be? A rape hit? And if he took her daughter home, Art, I believe that's going to seriously undermine their argument, because what black father you know?
Come on.
You, me, or the brother down the street. If our daughter tells us she was assaulted and we go pick her up and we can tell she not right, we doing one of three things. We going to the police, we going to the hospital, or we going back to the after party and we about to turn it out. Do you feel me, Art? Them the only, there's no other option. This is my 13-year-old baby. My 13-year-old baby got SA'd by Sean Carter, allegedly.
Not necessarily in that order. That's the only thing I want to say. I might be pissed off to the point that I may not do it in that order. I might go back to the after party first. Then we go into the hospital to check her out. And then I'm going to file a complaint at the police. Let's see.
One of three things. We going to the police.
We going to the police.
We going to the hospital. Or we going back to the after party and we about to turn it out. Do you feel me, Art? Them the only... there's no other option. This is my 13-year-old baby. My 13-year-old baby got SA'd by Sean Carter, allegedly, and Sean Combs, allegedly. And I don't drive her to the hospital. I don't drive her to the police precinct to make a report. and I don't show up with her uncles and cousins to the after party to turn it out, something don't look right. So then we go further, Art.
Something don't look like, something don't look right, something don't feel right, something don't sound right. Cause you best believe, oh my God, y'all don't want to hear half my stories. Y'all don't want to hear it. I can make a phone call right now and get a bunch of people over here. I got wrecked. If I got wrecked, or if they got wrecked, I'm sick and tired of. So man, don't call me no more because your wreck is crazy. Here we go. Here we go.
We go further.
Here we go.
24 years pass. 24 years. Y'all don't do nothing. Y'all don't say nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, Art. If she was an adult woman, I could understand her having to deal with her trauma before she comes forward. But she was a child. She was a child, which means it's up to her parents to press charges. It's up to her parents to get an attorney. It's up to her parents to make the police report. So as a mother and father, why didn't you seek legal justice for your child? These questions are going to come up. Now, in the civil suit paperwork, Art, according to Tony Busby, what he read, her attorney based in Houston, Texas, according to the civil suit, she demands a jury trial. That really caught me, Art. I was surprised at that. She's demanding a jury trial. Why am I surprised? Because, Art, if she's demanding a jury trial, she's going to have to take the stand. She has to testify. Remember, the only people who can plead the fifth are the people being accused of the crime. Jay-Z can plead the fifth. Sean Combs can plead the fifth because they are the defendants. She is bringing the case. So do you know what that means? She's going to have to take the stand, Art. And I'm saying to myself, are you sure you want to do this? If it's not true, and it could be true. I want to be honest about this. I don't know if she's telling the truth or not. I'm going to look at this from both sides. And if the sister is telling the truth, Art, I pray to God she get every penny she wants. I pray to God that those who assaulted her get the worst karma that's out here in the universe. Nobody should ever abuse a child. There's nothing worse than a sexual assault of a woman. There's no crime worse than the sexual assault of a woman. There's no crime worse than the abuse of a child. And when you combine them, Art, sex assault of a female with sex abuse of a child, that's the worst crime on the planet Earth. So if that lady is innocent, I pray to God she get all the help she's entitled to. I pray to God she get every penny that she's suing for, and any karma that comes to those who are responsible for that, they deserve it. So I will never defend anybody against injustice. But if she is fabricating this story, Art, it's going to come out on the stand. The lawyers are going to put her up there, Art, and they're going to try to make her look like she's some kind of promiscuous, money-grabbing, stereotypical inner-city young girl. They're going to ask her, were you a virgin until September 7th, the year 2000? How many men did you have sex with before September the 7th, the year 2000? They're going to ask her, were you part of a sex ring? Did you have a pimp? Was it your pimp who dropped you off at Radio City Music Hall and not some friend of yours? How many 13-year-olds have a friend they can call to drop them off? Were you on an assignment by your pimp? They're going to ask her these things. How many partners did you have by that time? And the biggest questions for the attorney, Art, if I'm for the defense, the biggest question that Tony Busby is going to have to answer, Art, what material evidence do you have? What 24 years ago, Art, what material evidence do you have to prove that she was ever alone in a room with Sean Combs or Sean Carter? Do you have any video surveillance? I doubt it. Do you have a witness? She said the only other person in the room, Art, was who? Celebrity B. That means Celebrity B is a friend. Celebrity B is a friend of Sean Combs and is a friend of Sean Carter. They not giving them up. Whoever Celebrity B is, I don't see them giving up Puff or Jay. I don't see it. I don't see it. So if it was only 4 of you in this room And the only person who can testify as to whether or not you were SA'd by Carter and Combs is their friend Celebrity B. Art, what do you have to prove that you were alone with them? Number one, what material evidence do you have to prove you had sex with them?
Yeah.
Number two, what material evidence do you have to prove that they assaulted you? Number three, how do we know you was alone with them too? How do we know that you had sex with them too? How do we know you was assaulted by them too? Art, let me draw a parallel. The only way I see, maybe there is some video surveillance from 24 years ago. They said Puffy taped everything. Maybe they could find the tape. That's one thing right there.
Yes.
Number two, the only other thing I could see is if she pulled a Monica Lewinsky. Now, if she pulled a Monica Lewinsky and she has a pair of jeans or a skirt or a dress or a blouse that has Sean Combs's DNA or Sean Carter's DNA on it, Art, that would make sense. Maybe she tucked away the dress she wore and is hanging in a closet somewhere. It's possible. Now, if she got their DNA, she got them. There's nothing to argue here. If that young lady saved the clothing she wore
Or the father
from 24 years ago, and it has Sean Combs's and Sean Carter's DNA on it, she got him. You cannot argue against that. But if she ain't got a Monica Lewinsky dress in the closet, Art, and keep in mind, Monica Lewinsky, her situation got exposed 3 years after her affair with President Clinton. 3 years after the affair, Art, she still had the dress. We're not talking 3 years. We're talking 24 years after the crime. If there's no material evidence, if there's no witnesses, how can she win this case? How can she win this case? Now, I want to go somewhere else with this too, Art. Now, I do have a question. If they were in the room with her, let's say allegedly and hypothetically, Sean Combs and or Sean Carter says, we were intimate with her at the VMA after party that Puff threw on September 7th, the year 2000. Yes, we were intimate with her. We did not SA her. There was no assault. It was voluntary intimacy. We were with her. But because she signed the NDA, because she showed up at the party, because she looked to be an adult, we didn't know that we were committing a crime. Let's just say they say we were with her, but it wasn't SA and we didn't know her age. That's not going to fly, Art. That defense will not work.
No.
And the reason it's not going to work for two main reasons. Number one, it is your responsibility as a grown man to ensure that you're not having relations with an underage woman. You feel me, Art? It is your legal responsibility as a man to ensure that the woman you're having sexual relations with is not underage. So the fact that they thought she was older, the fact that they presented her with an NDA, that does not absolve them of culpability in this. They're guilty. The other reason is this, Art.
Wait a minute.
I work in schools, right?
Wait a minute. Before he continues, these are the things that what he's talking about, a lot of the stuff he's talking about are the reason why we need fathers in families. Because a lot of what he just said, a lot of men don't even know that. Well, I ain't know she was under 18. I ain't know she did. No, it is your duty as a real man, is a real father. As a real father, it is your duty to educate your son. It is your duty to educate your son. So look here, son, let me sit down. And when I start telling you about these condoms, remember Steve Harvey was on that movie. He showed him how to open the condom up with one hand and all that type of stuff. It is your duty to sit down and do some professional speaking to your son and let him know, son, before you have, you over 18 now, or you 21 as a man, your number one job is to make sure you don't get in no stupid trouble. NDA, that does not absolve them of culpability in this. They're guilty. The other reason is this, Art. I work in schools, right?
We all know 13-year-old girls. We got nieces, we got cousins, we got daughters, we got it all.
Yes.
Is it possible, Art, that a grown man can't tell a 13-year-old girl isn't underage? Like for me, Art, I don't know how. 16, they look a little older. 16,
17.
they may have the whole body of a full-grown woman. We know our women mature faster. We understand that. Then with the hormones they put in the food.
Talk to me.
They got breasts, they got buttocks, they got it all at 15, 16, 17. I get it. But 13, Art? 13 to me, even if her body is fully developed like a woman at 13, her face, when you look in her face, I don't know how you can mistake a 13-year-old girl for a grown woman. Keep in mind, Art, there is no BBL culture back then. There is no real breast surgery culture back then. There are no fake eyelashes back then. There's really nothing in the year 2000 that a 13-year-old girl could add to herself to make it look like she's older. Now, with that being said, I have had this conversation with some of my female supporters, Art. And some of my female supporters argue, Dr. Umar, these 13-year-old girls out here, if they put on the right makeup and they wear the right clothing, they can easily look 18 and 19. This is what some sisters are saying. I'm still on the other side of the fence, Art. I understand what they're saying, that at 13, you can dress yourself up enough and look grown and fresh enough to be mistaken for 18 and 19. But even if you look 18 and 19, Art, I'm still asking for your license. You feel me? If you 18 and 19, you could be 16 and 17.
Now, my chat room is saying, and this is, oh my God, y'all seen Blue Ivory, right? In that dress for the I want to say Lion King, Ufufa, or whatever the hell that is, that little kid stuff. Even when I saw her, I was like, God, that's his daughter. Man, she grew up quick. That's all I was saying. Hold on for a second, y'all. That's all I was saying. I was like, oh, she grew up quick. Because to me, they all kids. I'm Jay-Z age. I'm looking for adults. I'm looking at Jay-Z wife is more than anything. Okay, she got all the dress. Yeah, they trying to make her look old, but maybe that's the part she trying to play. But in the chat room, Michelle is saying Blue Ivory looked 16/18, and she's only 12. That little girl, so Jay-Z daughter, Blue Ivory, is 12. Y'all go Google the dress. Google Blue Ivory in that dress. Tell me how old she looked to you if you saw her walking down the street. That's all. I just wanted to point that out. That's a great point. Fence, Art. Great point.
I understand what they're saying. That at 13, you can dress yourself up enough and look grown and fresh enough to be mistaken for 18 and 19. But even if you look 18 and 19, Art, I'm still asking for your license. You feel me? If you 18 and 19, you could be 16 and 17.
That's right.
I need your license. Here's another big thing that's working against Combs and Carter, Art. Another big thing working against Combs and Carter. In most states, and I only know this by working in the schools and being a school psychologist, in most states, Art, statutory rape only applies to 14 and 15-year-olds. I want you to follow me on this. And this is going to be a big piece that they're going to try to use to convict them of this. Well, not convict, because this is a civil trial, not a criminal trial. But Art, if Jay-Z is found liable of the civil suit, technically, he may be convicted in the court of public opinion anyway, if you follow what I'm saying. Like, if he's found liable, if Sean Carter is found liable to have aided, abetted, or participated in the sexual assault of an underage child, I don't know what kind of career might be left after that. But stay with me. Some people will say, well, Donald Trump was found criminally liable for the rape of a woman just a few years ago, and he still got reelected as president, so anything's possible in America. I get it, but Donald Trump is not a black man. Now, staying on point, here's the issue, Art. In most states in the United States, sexual statutory rape is for 14 and 15-year-old girls. And the boy has to be 4 years older than them. So if your 14-year-old daughter has an 18-year-old boyfriend and you don't like him, you can bring him up on statutory rape. If your 15-year-old daughter got a 19-year-old boyfriend and you don't like him, you can bring him up on statutory rape. And most states are 16 years old. 16 is the age of sexual majority. Once you turn 16, you can pretty much be intimate with whoever you want, and it cannot be considered rape. So 16, they're sexually liberated. I don't agree with that, by the way, but that's white man law in America. 16 is sexually liberated. 14 and 15, it's statutory rape if the boy is 4 years older than them or the man is 4 years older than them. Now check this out, Art. If the child is 13 or younger, if the child is 13 or younger, it's not statutory rape. It's automatic, it's not statutory sex abuse. It's automatic sex abuse of a child. Because according to the letter of the law, a 13-year-old child, Art, isn't old enough to consent to sex. You feel me on that? The law says if the child is 13, they're not, even if Combs and Carter, allegedly, if they did this, even if they said we had consensual relations with her, it's still considered sex assault, Art, because she's only 13. And in the United States of America, a 13-year-old child cannot consent to voluntary sex because they don't have the psychological resources to understand the verbal contract that they're entering into. So if Puff or Jay said this happened, they automatically are going to be found liable for the sexual assault of this child. And I hope this didn't happen. I really hope that this didn't happen, Art, because first of all, for the child, for the child, I hope that this woman who's now 37, 38 years old, I hope that this didn't happen because I don't ever want to see this happen to no female. And we know Black women are assaulted more than all other groups of women, and their perpetrators are less likely to be held accountable, Art. But here's another thing that got to be looked at too. Here's another thing that has to be looked at too. From the political side, Art, from the political side, we had Bill Cosby convicted in 2018. We had R. Kelly convicted in Brooklyn in 2021 and convicted again in Chicago in 2022. We had Sean Combs currently held in custody awaiting trial in 2024. And now we got Sean Carter not being accused of criminal behavior, but behavior that could have him found civilly responsible for the abuse of this woman. The point that I'm getting at, Art, that's four. That's 4 Black male billionaires in 6 years. If we just take 2018 to 2024, we have seen a Black male billionaire publicly destroyed once every year and a half. A Black male billionaire publicly destroyed every 18 months for the past 6 years. Now, even if you believe that these men are no good and they committed this crime, I don't have a problem with that. If they're guilty, they should pay the price. I'm not defending no one who abuses women or abuses children. I want to be clear about that. But if they are innocent, Art, and I do believe Bill Cosby was, I don't believe Puffy engaged in interstate sexual trafficking against people's will. I don't believe that. Sean Carter, I don't know, but I don't believe it. It still remains to be seen. But here's the point that I'm getting at, Art. If these men are innocent of even some of these charges, this clearly speaks to an agenda and a conspiracy to destroy Black male billionaires in this country. We only have but so many of them. The only ones left after this, look at this, Art, you got Cosby. He was an elder, but nonetheless, he's the most significant Black television figure in the history of American media. Bill Cosby, the first Black man with his own TV show. Bill Cosby opened up the door for Richard Pryor. So you got rid of Bill Cosby, or at least you destroyed him publicly. R. Kelly got sentenced to 30 years in Brooklyn, Eastern District of New York Fed Court. Then he picked up another 20 years, Art, in 2022, Northern Illinois Federal District. So he got 30 years in Brooklyn Federal Court, 20 years in Chicago Federal Court. They want R. Kelly to die in jail, Art. He ain't supposed to never get out. He was 54. He was 54. He was 54 years old when he got convicted in Brooklyn. That was September of 2021. You get a 30-year sentence, Art, and you 54. You get out when? 84 years old. They basically telling you joining your ancestors from prison. And then even after that, he gets convicted by another federal court of an additional 20 years in Chicago. So basically, R. Kelly is supposed to join his ancestors from prison. Then you got Sean Combs because he sued Diageo Liquor and started that black political party. And now you got Sean Carter. Who does that leave, Art? That leaves Kanye West. That leaves Tyler Perry. That leaves Tiger Woods.
What?
I'm missing one, Art. Who am I missing? Young black billionaires.
Steve.
And LeBron James.
Oh, my God.
LeBron James. Now, check it out. Check it out. Kanye's still standing, but he was scandalized. He's still standing, but Kanye was scandalized.
About to get deep.
They tried to break him, though. He just survived it. Tiger Woods, still standing, but he was scandalized. That only leaves Tyler Perry and LeBron James. And if you notice, Art, and I hope both brothers survive it, if they're innocent, I hope Tyler and LeBron survive it. But they trying to tie LeBron James to the Diddy freak-offs. Right now, they're trying to tie LeBron James to the Diddy freak-offs. They working on tearing Tyler Perry down. They saying that he has his own surviving Tyler Perry thing where he's allegedly SA'd a bunch of young black male actors and did a whole bunch of other inappropriate stuff. So the point that I'm making, Art, is we have to ask ourselves as black people, as American Africans, is this a pure coincidence that they literally, right now as we sit here and talk, 6 of 8 black male billionaires in America, 6 of 8 of them are either convicted, in jail, could be convicted, or currently going through court for sex assault charges. But you don't see the same thing happening with white males. Now, some people will say, what about Michael Jordan? I'm not including Michael Jordan. I'm not including Michael Jackson. Excuse me. Of course, they assassinated Michael Jackson. I'm not including Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Robert Smith, Oprah Winfrey. I'm not including them, Art, because they're much older. The only person I'm talking about who's older is Bill Cosby. Everybody else is a young black billionaire. Jay-Z is probably the most popular young black billionaire in America. He's far more popular than Puff. Far more popular than Puff. You know what I mean? And his popularity is right up there with maybe a Kanye or LeBron. But the point is, Art, anybody with 2 eyes can tell. There's clearly an agenda here to destroy the black male billionaire, the young black male billionaire. And I'll tell you why they want to do it. Because consciousness is at an all-time high with black people. Our children are learning more, reading more, studying more. They want to make sure that when they drop the hammer on black America, when Donald Trump drops the hammer on black America, they want to make sure that our black billionaires who still have some street credibility, who still have some connection to the hood, they want to make sure they don't bail us out. They want to make sure that the young black billionaire class does not come to the aid of black America when Donald Trump and the American white power structure drops the bomb on black America, the metaphorical bomb on black America. They going after them, Art. Now check this out. I want to go another way with this. Let's talk about the New York City Council's Gender-Based Violence Protection Act. In the year 2000, New York City Council passed this law. It's the Gender-Based Violence Protection Act that protects women who have been the victims of abuse by men. I don't have a problem with that, Art. It's been around since the year 2000. It came out the same year that she alleges that she was attacked. Okay. They've updated this law a couple times. But here's my question to you, Art. When you talk about conspiracy theory, let me throw this at you. Bill Cosby gets convicted in 18,
Wait a
September 18. R. Kelly gets convicted September 2021. 3 months after R. Kelly's 2021 conviction, he gets convicted again September 2022. R. Kelly gets convicted in Brooklyn, September 2021. Chicago, September 2022. In December of 2022, stay with me on this. December of 2022, the New York City Council decides to amend the Gender-Based Violence Protection Act. And they add this unprecedented clause, Art, that says any woman in New York City who has ever been the victim of violence or sexual violence at the hand of a man can bring a civil suit. They didn't say they could bring criminal suit, Art. Nobody's going to jail. But they said you could bring a civil suit. Money. You can go get money. And check this out, Art. There's no statute of limitations. It don't matter if you was assaulted in 2000. It don't matter if you was assaulted in 1980. It don't matter if you was assaulted in 1880. If you still alive and he's still alive, you can drag him into court for a civil suit right now. Art, it's unprecedented. You can hardly find a law like that anywhere in America that gives any woman who was assaulted at any time in her life without no evidence to go after the perpetrator and drag them into court. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to, Art. My question is it a coincidence? Here's what I'm going at. Bill Cosby, September 18 conviction. R. Kelly, September 21 conviction. R. Kelly, September 22 conviction. Okay. Then you got Puffy, 2024. Jay-Z, 2024, being charged. Here's my question, Art. Who decided on city council? Why did the New York City Council, Art, decide to amend the gender-based violence protection law? It's been around 22 years. They decide to add this clause. It's only good for 2 years, Art. It's a 2-year window from March the 1st of 2023 to March the 1st of 2025. March the 1st of 2023 till March the 1st, 2025. If you got 2 years to bring a suit against any man who has ever assaulted you at any time in your life. My question, Art, why did they decide to do this? Bill Cosby is already convicted. R. Kelly is already convicted. Harvey Weinstein is already convicted, Art. Harvey Weinstein, New York conviction is 2020. Bill Cosby, 2018. R. Kelly, 2021 and 2022. City Council passed this new provision in December of 2022. If Harvey Weinstein is already locked up, if Bill Cosby is already locked up, if R. Kelly is already locked up, why did they need to add this 2-year window, Art, that allowed women to go all the way back in time? You know what my position is? My position, Art, they added that law because they knew they were going after Sean Combs and Sean Carter. I'm going to say it again. Art. I want somebody to prove me wrong on this. You don't create a law unless you plan on using it, correct? You don't just sit around thinking up laws. You don't sit at a dinner table unless you're about to eat. You don't put your shoes on unless you're about to go walk. You don't give your child no toys unless they're about to play. Why did New York City Council amend this law that's 22 years old to allow women to go as far back as they want to bring men into court so they can get paid off civil cases for the next 2 years? They knew they was going after Sean Combs and they knew they was going after Sean Carter, Art. Nobody can convince me otherwise. So let's stay with the timeline. New York City passes that provision in December of 2022. Puffy sues Diageo in the spring of 2023. Casey Ventura files her federal case against Puffy November 16, 2023. Puffy settles out of court in less than 24 hours. Big mistake, Puff. When Puffy settled out of court, Art, in less than 24 hours, it made it appear that he had something to hide, and it made it appear that everything she accused him of was true. Now, don't get me wrong. Kobe Bryant settled his sex assault case out of court. But guess what, Art? He didn't do it in 24 hours. Michael Jackson settled his sex assault case out of court. He didn't do it in 24 hours. And of course, we found out later, Michael Jackson was never guilty of molesting those white boys because one of the white boys came out and said he never touched them, that his parents put him up to doing it. So just because you settle out of court don't mean you're guilty, because Michael Jackson clearly was not. But here's my point, Art. Puffy should have never settled in 24 hours. Because guess what happened after that? Once Puffy settled with Cassie out of court in less than 24 hours, November 17th, he got accused by 2 more women in 5 days. He got accused by 3 more women by the end of the month. And
That's a fact. That's facts right there. Oh my God. Wait a minute, man. Think about it. Oh, he giving out money that fast? He raped me too. That's all you gotta say. It's like, oh.
He was not. But here's my point, Art. Puffy should have never settled in 24 hours.
24 hours.
Because guess what happened after that? Once Puffy settled with Cassie out of court in less than 24 hours, November 17th, he got accused by 2 more women in 5 days. He got accused by 3 more women by the end of the month. And by the time the new year rolled around, it was over. And so then in January of this year, 2024, he settles with Diageo. January 16th of 2024, and 2 months later in March, his house was raided. Art, I'm telling you, New York City was urged to create that law, that provision of the law, that 2-year provision, so they could take down Puff and Jay. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Nobody can convince me otherwise. And for people who say, if you do the crime, you should do the time, I agree, Art.
I agree.
But can I ask them a question?
Yes.
Harvey Weinstein's 2020 conviction got thrown out. Harvey Weinstein's still in jail, Art, because he's serving a 16-year term from a Los Angeles conviction. But guess what? They're going to cut that down to 12 years because they say he should get credit for the time he was already serving in jail, because sentences usually run concurrently. He's currently on appeal right now. He's still in jail, but he's on appeal, and his lawyers are trying to get the LA case thrown out altogether. And of course, he was recently diagnosed with cancer, just came out of surgery. I believe Harvey Weinstein going home. I believe Harvey Weinstein going home. Now, some people are asking a question, Art. They said, will the NFL cancel Jay-Z's concert? Excuse me, Jay-Z's business relationship. Jay-Z helps produce the halftime shows at the Super Bowl. Some people are saying, will Roger Goodell, commissioner of the NFL, cancel Jay-Z's contract? Will he end Jay-Z's relationship with the NFL? First of all, we already know he's not, because he came out the other day and said that the NFL will proceed with their relationship with Jay-Z. But I knew that anyway, Art, because number one, you would be a fool to cancel Jay-Z before the Super Bowl. You would be a fool because all them black folks who was going to watch it, they not watching a halftime show. They not even going to watch it. And plus, if they cancel Jay-Z, Kendrick might pull out, and they can't afford to lose Kendrick as hot as Kendrick is. So that would have been financial suicide to cancel Jay-Z ahead of the Super Bowl. Now, could they have canceled him after the Super Bowl? Possibly, but they're not going to do that either, Art, and I'm going to tell you why. Look at all the sex assault complaints that have come against NFL personnel, and the NFL did nothing about it. Let's go to the New England Patriots owner, Roger Kraft. Roger Kraft was charged with 2 counts of prostitution in Florida at an Asian day spa. Guess what? He beat the case because the court said that the video footage that the police had on New England Patriots owner Roger Goodell can't be used in court because it was obtained unconstitutionally. Roger Kraft got off on the technicality, Art. You know, the white power structure took care of that for him. They said, yes, you got footage. He was engaged in prostitution, but y'all didn't get the footage the right way, so we got to throw it out. Let's go to Ben Roethlisberger.
That's crazy.
Ben Roethlisberger
Hold up, man. That's crazy. So you can do a crime or kill somebody, but you got the footage of me doing the killing. You got the footage the wrong way. It wasn't constitutional the way you got the footage. So you got to throw it out of court. Then you walk away. That's bull, man. That's the type of bull I'm talking about right there.
He was engaged in prostitution, but y'all didn't get the footage the right way. So we got to throw it out. Let's go to Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger, former Super Bowl champion, two-time Super Bowl champion, future Hall of Famer, 18 years with the Steelers, 16 to 18 years with the Steelers. He got accused of sexually assaulting a woman in a hotel casino. Guess what? That got dropped. Then he got accused of raping a 20-year-old girl inside of a bathroom stall at a club or something like that. She pressed charges. Her medical examiner found evidence of blood, forcible entry into her vaginal cavity, and guess what? The case got dropped. They said they didn't have enough evidence. The NFL didn't punish Ben Roethlisberger for the first crime, and they only gave him a 4-year suspension. 4 games, Art. They gave him a 4-game suspension for the second crime. So they don't have a history. They don't have a history of punishing white males when it comes to sex assault in the NFL. And if I want to go over to the NBA one quick time, even though this is the NBA, let's go to Marv Albert, the longtime announcer for the NBA. Marv Albert got accused of raping a 42-year-old, sodomizing her forcibly against her will. And guess what? He pled guilty, Art. He pled guilty to raping that woman. And guess what? The NBA gave him his job back after 2 years. So how you going to punish Jay-Z for what you think he might have done when you got these white males in the professional sports industry who have done worse or accused of things just as bad, and you really didn't do much about it? But let us go to WWE. What's the guy, Vince McMahon? Have you seen the charges against Vince McMahon? Vince McMahon is accused of everything Puffy is accused of times 3. Vince McMahon is accused of everything Sean Combs has been accused of times 3, Art. He's accused of sexually trafficking children. He's not only accused of sexually assaulting women, he's accused of holding them against their will while other men sexually assaulted them. This is all alleged, by the way. Everything I'm saying is alleged. But if you look at Vince McMahon's charges, they're worse than Puffy's. He's never been arrested. He's never been charged. So this is not just about guilt and innocence, Art. There is a racial factor and a racial narrative at play in these black billionaire takedowns. And black people better stop jumping on the bandwagon of trying to desecrate our celebrities publicly until we see the evidence. I don't know if Puffy's guilty. I don't know if Puffy's innocent. I don't know if Sean Carter is guilty. I don't know if Sean Carter is innocent, but I'm here to defend justice, and I'm here to defend everybody's right to a fair and impartial trial before a jury of their peers. And I thought it was bad taste, Art. I thought it was very bad taste that the media decided to drop these Jay-Z allegations right after Billboard announces Beyonce, I believe, as being artist of the century or something like that. And right before his daughter, Blue Ivy, has her premiere of the Mufasa movie, the Lion King sequel, where she's going to be one of the voices of one of the characters. They dropped this right after the Beyonce announcement and right before his daughter's red carpet debut. I thought that was foul. If Jay-Z is guilty, let Jay-Z stand his trial. Don't bring Beyonce. I'm a Beyonce fan. I'm going to just be honest with that. I think she cares about her people, and I think she tries to help her people whenever she can. So I think it's bad character to try to bring Beyonce into this. And I think it's bad character to try to disparage the image of a 12-year-old girl. I believe Blue Ivy's 12. Leave the kids out of it. Leave the wife out of it. Leave the twins out of it. But I want to say this, Art, and I'll stop. I believe Jay is going to survive this because, number one, I don't see how Tony Busby is going to find material evidence to prove that Jay-Z and or Sean Combs was ever in a room alone with this 13-year-old. Think about it, Art. Imagine if they pass her picture around. She don't look the same way. She don't look how she looked when she was 13. So who can place her? Art, who could place her at the party? Who can place her? You don't look you were 13. Nobody looks the same way at 37 that they looked at 13. So Art, who's going to place her at the party? That's number one. Now, maybe she got some 13-year-old pictures. Now, if she got some 13-year-old middle school pictures, they can pass that around. But if you was trying to dress like a grown woman so you can get into the VMAs, chances are you don't look anything like your 13-year-old picture when you was at that VMA award. In other words, Art, you can hold up her VMA picture to her 13-year-old class pictures in middle school. She might look like two totally different women. So how are y'all going to place her at the party? How are you going to place Sean Combs and Sean Carter beside her at the party? How are you going to prove there was sex? How are you going to prove that there was sexual assault? I can't see it. But I want to say this part. I want to say this. We need to understand that morally inappropriate behavior does not preclude the existence of a separate and distinct public agenda. In other words, Art, Puffy can be wrong, Jay-Z can be wrong, and it can still be an agenda to destroy young black billionaires. Black people have this idea, Art, that if they're guilty of the crime, there's no conspiracy at play. That's not true. Because you don't see white men being charged of the same thing being taken down. Yes, they can be guilty. Yes, they should be held accountable, but there's still an agenda to destroy black male billionaires that we cannot afford to ignore. Black power.
How you feel about the statement Jay came out with?
Jay-Z's statement. At first, I thought it was a little premature.
Yes,
I
me
kind
too.
of felt that Mr. Carter should have allowed his lawyers to respond on his behalf. However, Art, when I step back and look at what he risks losing because of this, I think it was more than appropriate for Mr. Sean Carter to respond himself. Think about it, Art. A 13-year-old, and I'm not getting in their business, but your wife can leave you if you're guilty of that. You understand? A wife will leave a husband if she found out you sexually assaulted a child younger than our own daughter. You know what I'm saying? Those types of accusations destroy families. Those types of accusations destroy legacies. Those types of accusations will terminate billion-dollar deals and agreements that you have. He could lose everything on these allegations, Art. And because of that, I think he did the right thing. He basically responded the exact opposite way as Sean Combs did. Puffy retreated and he settled. Jay said, I'm not retreating. I'm not settling. You're going to have to prove in a court of law that I am guilty of the crimes that you accuse me of. And like I said earlier, Art, the first thing Sean Carter's attorney is going to do is hire a private investigator. They're going to hire a private investigator who's going to dig all into that girl's past, Art. God forbid if she was ever locked up. God forbid if she was ever a prostitute. God forbid if she was homeless or if she come from a family where the parents might have had some challenges with substance abuse. Anything that they can use to disparage her character, they're going to use it to exonerate their client because that's what lawyers do. I just hope, Art, for her sake, I hope she's telling the truth because I would hate to see a black woman be embarrassed and disrespected on the stand the way she's going to be embarrassed and disrespected on the stand. So for that side, I hope it's true. For Jay-Z and Sean Combs, I hope it's not true. Because first of all, black men shouldn't be engaging in that type of behavior. And we have a lot of young people who look up to them, especially Sean Carter. And so I hope it's not true because number one, we shouldn't be doing that to our women. And number two, that's not the kind of legacy we want. And that's not the type of hope we want our young people to lose in one of their favorite celebrities.
How you feel about Diddy bail being denied for a third time?
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
Puffy, Sean Combs being denied bail 3 times is unacceptable. How can he be denied bail 3 times, Art?
Now, before he give y'all the answer, being denied bail, it's a 50-50 thing, man. Before he give his answer, because he gonna give a good answer. I feel as though Puffy not getting bail allows more people bravery to come out to say that if they did something wrong, more bravery to come out, because I'm so closed up that I feel, come on, you got to do it. You got to stand for more people to come out. So I feel as though him not being able to get out, because this is a powerful dude. So it's giving more people the power to come out. That's the only leverage I feel about keep him in jail. If he done it. Also, if they found anything, what's on the tapes, man? Come on, y'all got to tell us what is on the tapes. All this time y'all done raided the house. If it was me that raided the house, I would have went back to my office and started looking at them tapes right then and there. What's on? Y'all got to found something on them tapes to say, Your Honor, if I show you what's on these tapes, then don't let him out. Anything like that. You know why you ain't getting bail? Look at this. That's it. That's all we saying. You, we ain't had court yet, but Puffy, you know what's on these tapes. Look at that. You see that right there? That's why you ain't getting no bail. But at the same time, let's hear what my man, the doctor, got to say.
McMahon ain't never.
Check this out.
Sean Combs being denied bail 3 times is unacceptable. How can he be denied bail 3 times, Art, and Vince McMahon ain't never been arrested yet for the same and worse? And Vince McMahon case is only 1 state away in Connecticut. So it's not like he's on the other side of the country. They 1 state away. Puffy gets denied bail 3 times. Vince McMahon ain't even been arrested. You know why they doing this? This is all about intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
This is all about humiliation.
Mm-hmm. True.
Humiliation and intimidation. They are sending a loud message to Black celebrities. You are not above the law. You have no more power than any other Black person. You will do what we say, and if you don't, we will destroy you. They're showing us by destroying our Black billionaires how much power the Black celebrity does not have. Racism, complete racism that Puff has not been released on bail. Complete racism. He has children. Nobody's thinking about his children. Sean Carter has children. Nobody's thinking about his children. And when I look on the internet and I just see all these Black folks trying to destroy them, like I see Black people convicting them before they even been tried in court. I ain't talking about people who've been around them. I can't speak to those in the music industry. I'm talking about regular, everyday YouTube and struggle streamers saying, yeah, I know Jay-Z is guilty. How you know he guilty? How do you know the man guilty? Was you there? Was you around him? How do you know? I just hate the fact, Art, that we are so quick to cancel, dismiss, and humiliate our own, even without evidence, but we don't keep the same energy with white folks. Look at the cop. The cop who shot and killed Sonia Massey up in Illinois, he's about to get out on bail. He's about to get out on bail. We're not crashing out for that, though. We're not crashing out for that. Donald Trump didn't put a single Black person on his presidential cabinet. We're not crashing out for that. The stuff that matter, Black people are not crashing out for, but we will crash out in support of Jay-Z being found guilty before he ever had a day in court. And like I said, I'm not on nobody's side. I'm on the side of justice. I believe in due process of the law. I believe everybody is innocent until proven guilty. And both Sean Combs and Sean Carter have reasserted their innocence. And until they've been proven guilty in the court of law before a jury of their peers with a preponderance of the evidence, I have no right to question them.
Wow, man, that was deep. Oh man, I don't even know where to close at, man. Only thing I know is, think about it, man. You know what? It's funny, man, when you start researching all this stuff, y'all not gonna believe this. Please don't get mad at me until you do the research. R. Kelly. I'm just going to put it out there, man. I really think R. Kelly was straight up framed. You got the video footage, straight up. Trust me, man. Ronnie Bo, shout out to Ronnie Bo. Y'all need to go check out Ronnie Bo and what he's saying. And this horse tranquilizer and all this stuff. I don't do the drugs, so I don't know what kind of drug make you do. Maya, the girl everybody's saying lion, and English. Remember the dude that was in the hospital gown talking to the police officers? I don't know these people's names, and this is what they bank on. People like me that can't remember a lot of stuff. Only thing I do know is they said that these drugs make you do things you don't want to do. And also, in order to get down with them, yo, man, we ain't gonna put you, like they said that in Cassie case, if you don't go back to Puffy, they ain't gonna put your album out. What? What in the world? DMX says stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? We know everybody's in this joint crooked, man. So R. Kelly using the bathroom on that little girl, didn't even know she was underage. And they filming it. He probably didn't even know they was filming it. He probably was so high that he knew they was filming and he couldn't help himself. I think he was framed, man. Now, all the other stuff he did could have been because he was being framed. I don't know, man. I'm just going to put that out there. So, but think about what the doctor said, man. I support him, man. I support him. A lot of people, like me, I'm colorblind. You know, I think I can see through when he's talking about, you know, see, they trying to put a black man down, and then when the black man, see, that's the black. Some people play the race card a little too hard. We can agree on that. But a lot of times when the doctor plays the race card, it's because it's needed. A lot of times. Sometimes he played a little too hard for me. But you have to agree with people. Just because somebody says one or two things you don't like, you ready to cut them 100% off? Think about that one. Think about it, man. We all human, man. There's a lot of things that I'm going to say you ain't going to like. So you just going to unsubscribe and move on. F you. Excuse me. I don't care. I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to do the best I can on putting out the most positive. I don't care. If you need to move on, move on. You know, I'm speaking to the people that love me and understand me. You know, I'm human. I'm going to make a mistake. And I'm going to raise my hand and say, God dang it, I done made another mistake. Shoot, you should have seen the 50 I made before I turned this camera on. Look here, man. I'm going to get on up out of here. Hey, y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.